Hello, lovely people. Thank you for visiting my channel. My name is Sharon. A very warm welcome to you. So let's take a look. I've been drawn to have a look at what's going on with the heat currently on the planet. Now, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm sure you've experienced some form of heat or another. I think the UK, we are heading now for our third heat wave of the year so far. And it feels to me like Mother Gaia has a message for us. And strangely, this is the first card that came out today. So this really is about, it's saying to me we need to come back to ourselves and start listening to ourselves, step into our own power more and feel that true fire that is within the core of us all. This is where our passion lies, our power. It's like if you think of our solar plexus, that's kind of the source of confidence. If we think about the sun and everything that it gives to us, it brings us that power, that passion. It's obviously, it's fiery. It's a ball of fire, isn't it, in the sky? And it brings life to the earth. So if we think about the core of our being, that is where life springs forth. That's where we get that spark of intuition, which is never wrong, by the way. Intuition is never wrong. So when we talk about, you should always follow your gut or your heart. It's kind of all this area, isn't it? It's the core of our being. And this heat really is a reflection of that and the energies that are currently floating around the planet. And I've just looked down and had a look at another deck. I have shuffled all the cards, but look at this as well. This really is saying now we are all stars. Let's start acting like them. Let's start planning our futures around our own passion and our own love of life and bring that childlike energy back into our hearts and our minds and our lives. Because when we're children, we have no fear and we just kind of do things as much as we're allowed, obviously. But we'll go out and play. We don't really care about what anybody thinks about us. And it's only as we get older that we start worrying about nonsense like that. So let's start to bring our passion and our power back into our lives and this fire and start shining our true lights. I think that's what the message is. But let's have a look and see what else wants to come out. Let's keep pulling. Okay, I've got an image of the sun now. And instead of being bright yellow like we think it is, it does actually look orange to me. And it really does kind of look like this kind of colour. This is what it looks like. And what it's doing, it's heating up the earth, giving life to the earth and everybody on this planet. And it's giving us this opportunity to realise now that we must start walking towards this unity consciousness. It's like what I'm being shown is this sun connected to our planet. Everything is connected, right? There is no separation. We're just led to believe that, or we're told that's what there is. Okay, there's no separation. But our energy is extremely scattered. So I'm having this vision of this sun, and it's almost like this angel in this card feels to me like she's representing the sun, and the sun is enveloping us, it's holding us, it's nurturing us, it's giving life to this planet. If we didn't have the sun, there would be nothing. And what she's saying now is it's time now to start moving forward and acting as one consciousness. Now, I understand that when we come here to Earth School, right, we decide pre-incarnation who we're going to interact with, what type of life we're going to have, this, that, and the other, what lessons we need to learn, soul contracts, etc. And some people have a higher understanding of consciousness than others. Let's put it that way, without sounding horrible, okay, or disrespectful to anybody. Okay, we're all here to learn, period, as I've said many times before. But we're all at different stages. We're all on our own journey, even though we're all connected. We are all on our own individual journeys, and we all have families, etc., that we might feel like we're linked with. Obviously, we're all one, okay? But when you're in a family unit, obviously you feel connected to that family unit. But you're still on your own individual journey. Nobody else can live your life for you, and that includes the spirit fam, angels, galactic fam, whoever, okay? They can only sit back and observe us. They can guide us, and they can give us advice if we're willing to listen, of course. That's a big point there. And sorry if you hear the jingle jangle, that's the ice cream man going past my house, so I apologize. But the point I'm trying to make is we need to understand, and we need to realize now that we are all one, but we are all at different points. We are just, you and I are just a point of attention, okay, in this time and space. And even though we may feel like we don't get on with everybody, which is perfectly normal, perfectly natural in this Earth School, everybody's going to get there. And it doesn't matter when. As I've said previously, life is not a race or a competition. We will all get there. But we must start with unity consciousness. We must start to understand that there is a bigger picture here, because I've pulled another couple of cards, and we've got trust in higher forces and also protection guardian. Now, I always say, the fam always tell me to tell you that release the fear, because we are all protected. That we are absolutely held within the wings of love, essentially. But higher forces are at play here, and they have all the knowledge ever. We only have to ask them. We have angels, galactic fam, ascended masters, you name it, spirit fam, even our beloved pets, okay, in spirit, are always here to teach us something, because we are here to learn. This is Earth School. And yes, the earth is hot at the moment. We are being fed this line that it's global warming, etc. Okay, what spirit want me to say to you is, don't believe everything that you hear. Don't believe everything that you read. Don't believe everything that you see. Question everything. I watched a little bit of a YouTube video today, and I have to say it kind of freaked me out. It was something to do with Ellen DeGeneres, okay, and the people that she worked with. And it was somebody that had worked on her show back in the day and on her set. And apparently she'd said to this person that control is the highest form of love. Well, I can tell you now, it is not. Okay, so whether that is true or fake or indifferent, that doesn't matter, but that is absolutely not true. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that we are being controlled by lower vibrational energy. And when they say things like, oh, it's human caused climate change, global warming, this, that, and the other in regard to the heat, or the polar ice caps are melting, you know, whatever, etc. Just listen to your own intuition regarding everything. That's what they've just said to me. So let's pull some more cards. Let's go. Should we go to the tarot? Let's have a look at the tarot. So we've already had the 9 of fire, essentially the 9 of wands. It's a heavy journey and it's hot. It is. The wands in the tarot obviously represent fire. So what this card is saying to me, because this is the number 9, which is essentially the number of the wounded warrior, it's a heavy load. They know that, they get it. And a lot of us have had enough, quite honestly. So what they're saying is, when we start to step into our own power, our own fiery energy, the load lightens up automatically. Step into this star energy and see the load for what it is. It really is just here as a lesson. As I always say, everything is a lesson and every person is a teacher. But let's go to a different tarot deck. Let's have a look. As always, cards are always pre-shuffled, cleansed, etc. What else? So this really is a new opportunity to step into love as well. What do I always say? Love is the answer to any question, and it's so true. And no, control is not the highest form of love. It is absolutely not. But what I want us to understand, and what the fam are giving me a nudge to tell you, to remind you, that Earth really, what they're saying is, the Earth was really an experiment back in the day. And somewhere along the way, it's been hijacked by lower vibrational energy. That's the only way I'm going to describe it. Some people might say, oh, it's demons, it's, you know, like lower aliens, or, you know, whatever. If it's lower vibrational energy, then it could be any one of those things. It's only in the human perception as to what we understand that to be. What we have to understand is that everything, including you and I, these cards, this camera that I'm filming on, has a frequency. Everything has a certain frequency. And there is only energy, nothing else. Everything is energy. There is nothing else. There are many, many, many different layers of energetic frequency. Like the layers of an onion, if you like, or the petals of a rose. Excuse me. I prefer the petals of a rose. Only because I'm not keen on onions. But yeah, if we think of energetic frequency like that, the higher that our frequency is, then the more good things are going to come our way, and the more the light pushes the darkness, i.e. the lower vibrational energy, out, because the light will always win. And they are in fear at the moment. They are absolutely in fear, because they know that more and more and more people are starting to wake up, as we say. I mean, it's not really that people are waking up. I think it's more people are starting to remember and starting to understand more and starting to push back, you know, because we're tired of the nonsense. We're not having it anymore. You know, we're starting to realize that we are being fed a load of nonsense, essentially, which we are. So this to me, on this particular reading, is representing the sun, and it's being handed to us. And what they're saying is the sun is energy as well. Okay, it's an energetic frequency as well. And it's good, it's wonderful, it brings life to the earth. It is not a low vibrational energy. Now, they will try and stop you. Since I've been doing more and more readings, I've had more and more technical issues. Last week, my ring light decided to stop working, just literally randomly. So obviously now, but I'm looking at it as a good thing, because now I've upgraded that. So hopefully now on the shiny cards, you won't get the circle of light now. But the thing is, they will try and stop you. When I did my Jack the Ripper video, that must have taken me about 3 days to actually upload that, because I had no end of problems, etc. There was another video I did a couple of weeks ago that I had to re-record, because I was sat here for almost an hour talking to you, and when I went to edit it, there was no sound. These things happen, you know. That is lower vibrational energy trying to stop me and the fam getting these messages out to you, but they will absolutely not shut me up. I'm fairly outspoken. I'm in my 50s, and I think now, at this point in my life, why should I hold back? I've held back my whole life, and because I've kind of always felt unworthy, I always felt like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. That's kind of partly upbringing, partly, you know, my mum, bless her, who is now in spirit, and she has been since 1997. It was always I was always kind of taught, well, you know, just, if anything happens, just be quiet, you know, because less said soon is mended kind of attitude, you know, which is a bit more of an old school attitude. Unfortunately, that kind of attitude has kind of stumped my voice, if you like. It's kind of held me back. And now, it's only now that I'm starting really to speak my truth and realize that I'm starting as well to see through the BS that they keep putting out to us. So let's get grounded as well, I've just heard. Because as I've said many times, my nose is itching, I'm sorry, which is always a spiritual sign. Ear buzzing, nose itching, that's mine. Everybody gets different signs. So let's get grounded. step in to this star energy and realize that it's, yes, it's a heavy load, but once we start to step into our power, come together as one. Where's my card gone? Come together, unity consciousness. Do you ask yourself, do you want to move towards this, where we're all happy, helping each other, being kind? Or do you want to stay where you are, being fed this narrative, this nonsense, putting up with the shenanigans of the government, of the world? I know where I'd rather be, you know? So let's make a choice now. So let's see what else wants to come through. Our energy is so scattered at the moment. I think that's why we're being asked to get grounded as well. Okay, we've got 3 cards that have come out. So we've got the King of Cups, the 5 of Cups, and the 4 of Pentacles. If I can hold all 3 up, I will show you the cards. Gorgeous cards. Yeah, this King of Cups, as I always call him, the King of Love. The King of Love, my shepherd is. Love that hymn. That reminds me of my mum, actually. He totally gets it. We're all getting it. As I said, we're all getting it, and we will all get there. We will absolutely all get there. Some at different times, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But he totally gets it. Look at this character. He's completely tapped into his own energy. And his crown chakra is absolutely on fire with knowledge and wisdom and love and information and truth that is coming in directly from the divine. And that is how we connect. Get out there and meditate. Even if it is hot. Just you might have to put your sunglasses on though, because I've mentioned before that when I've tried to go and meditate, I've done it outside in a park, and then, you know, you'll get somebody walk over to you. You all right, love? So yeah, choose your time and your place. That's what I would say. Okay. So the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. This 4 of Pentacles says to me that we're holding on too tight. We've got to let it go. We're trying to hold on to what we think we believe, and it's not the truth. So let it go and let it flow, and allow this higher knowledge to come in and give us the wisdom. All we have to do is ask for it. 5 of Cups. We feel like this card is saying to me that we feel like we're just losing, and we're absolutely not, because this planet is protected. 1,000,000,000% this planet is protected. And if anybody out there thinks that they, when I say they, I mean spirit fam, galactic fam, angels, whoever, will allow anything like a nuclear war or anything like that, no, it's not going to happen. It's not allowed. It won't be allowed. So let's get our head out of the clouds and stop the fear now, because it absolutely is going to be okay. Yes, we might experience bad things along the way, but this planet will not be allowed to be destroyed. It just absolutely won't. It's time time to start believing in you and your capabilities and your qualities and your worth. Because Spirit Fam, angels, galactics, everybody, our pets, absolutely love us beyond recognition. And it is complete and utter unconditional love. Let's see what else. Okay. We've got to take that leap of faith. Step off the cliff. It's going to be okay. We're not going to fall. They're going to catch us. That's the whole point. We've got the flower of life there again, reminding us everything is connected. We are one. The Hermit, yet again, flying free, you see. Similar qualities in both these cards. We're just being told just to let go. We are being offered this beautiful opportunity now to step back into our own passion, in our own power, and start believing in ourselves instead of the fools that think they run this planet. You know, just because they might have more money than the rest of us, or we think they're more attractive than us, or they've got a bigger house or a faster car, or whatever. It's nonsense. I've just heard step back and simplify. This is the okay, so we're going on kind of off kilter here, but what they're saying is now is the reason that we're all feeling like this, like we're losing, is because we're trying to keep up with everybody else. That is never going to happen, whether it be financially, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, physically, whatever. We can't. You can't keep up with everybody else because we are all on a different journey. That's why we feel we're losing. That's why mental health issues are so prevalent on this planet, because we're all trying to keep up with everybody else, and we get depressed when we don't, when we can't. You know? I went on a visit last week to Dunham Massey in Cheshire as part of the National Trust house, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I saw quite a few people there, the typical people who kind of just walked around, took a selfie. Yeah, okay, I've looked at this room. Now, I think one of the ladies said to me that National Trust property has the most artifacts remaining from the family that used to live there. And I will have to look up the history, and I will do a vlog for you, because obviously I'm planning to go back. It's not too far from where I live. And the energy there was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And what I was told to do was just to stand in a room and absorb the energy and think about how many people had walked on that floor, how many people had looked out that window going back over 300-400 years or whatever. History is important, and they had what they called a silver room, where all the family's silver was in cabinets. Absolutely breathtaking, polished to perfection. But what one of the ladies said to me, and this really struck me, was that they had specially made suitcases for, say, for example, if they had a silver salt pot and or silver salt and pepper pots, etc., they had a specially made suitcase that would fit those salt and pepper pots exactly, and it was all crushed velvet inside. And when they went to another of their properties, because they had a few around the countries, the family did, they would pack the silver up and take it with them. And I thought, my goodness, that is absolutely amazing. And it really struck me as well, the way everything was displayed. And I said to the lady, what is it that we're going to display in like 200 or 300 years? 57 versions of an iPhone? Is that what we're leaving behind? You know, just something to think about, which is what my readings are always about. Just something to think about. That's what the fans say. It's about bringing you truth and information that you might find funny, sad, interesting, amusing, whatever, appropriate, inappropriate, doesn't matter. Whether you believe me or not, or whether you listen to anything I say, even if you make it to the end of the video, it really, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. But I'm just here trying to get messages out to you directly from source, and from my spirit, from the angels, etc., from everybody in spirit, just to try and help you to see things in a different way. If you think about the energy of the hanged man in the tarot, obviously he's hanging upside down by 1 foot, isn't he? So that really is not only a card of like suspension, you know, kind of, it can be like take a break, just hang around for a bit, but it's also telling you to see things from a different perspective, you know. And if it kind of makes you go, okay, so yeah, we were talking about this today, just something to think about. Okay. 8 of Pentacles, this is essentially our happy place. So when we start to step into our own power and start to see things in a different way, change that perspective, that's when we come to our happy place, isn't it? So what else can we find out about the heat? Okay, so this is even better. So we've got the 8 and the 10 of the Pentacles. This is like all us together with that big sun. This is what this is saying to me. That it's showing that we've done it. We've managed it. We're winning. Darkness will never win. They think they will, but they won't. They absolutely will not win, and they will never shut me up. And I don't really want to. Speak your truth. What is it that... I ask myself this a lot. What is it that I was so afraid of? But now I just say it like it is. And I love that. And that's what I expect people to do back to me. What is it we're so afraid of? I know what we're afraid of. It's the consequences of saying something, or in case we upset somebody. I think the problem is now we are creating a world where you are afraid to say what you think, i.e. your truth, or say what you mean, in case we're going to upset somebody. Well, tough. If they're not on our same wavelength, then they're not meant to be with us anyway. They were just another lesson. That's what I want us to think about, okay? So always speak your truth. Do not be afraid to voice your opinion. What else can you tell us about the heat? Okay. Final card. Yeah, this is absolutely how we're feeling. I'm so sorry that energy is really strong today. Does weird things to the body. It usually gives me a headache, and I have got a headache coming, to be fair. This is how we're feeling, but what we have to remember, what I'm being told is, what we have to remember is that life is a mirror, and weirdly, I've actually been looking at, I pulled, as I was shuffling, another card came out on the top, and I don't know what I've done with it, and I'm sure it said life is a mirror. Hang on a second, where is it? Here we go. My life is a mirror. So we are the mirror of everybody else because we are all connected. There is no separation. And all these crows and everything, they're all pecking at our heads. That is the lower vibration that's pecking at our heads, trying to keep us trapped and controlled. Because for whatever reason, certain people seem to think that control is the highest form of love. I still can't believe that. As I said, that's the first I've ever heard of anything like that from somebody in the public eye anyway. Okay. I shall say no more about that. But yeah, our lives are a mirror of each other. We are a mirror of each other because we are all connected. Everything is a lesson, every person a teacher. And if you go through life and remember that, then I think it'll help you to kind of get through it, because life is hard and it is tough and it is hot. Okay, my lovely people. So let's just have a look at this one then. So it says, my life is a mirror. No, I'm sorry. Need the specs on. You know what I'm like? I should wear them, really. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. There we go. So that is everything I have for today on this particular reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. It helps me to get messages out to more wonderful people such as yourselves. You look after yourselves, and I will speak to you very soon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.